Okay, so in this tutorial we are going to look to create something similar to this, where we're going to have just almost like a wall of text, but we're going to use some of the features within the software to make things look a little bit better. So this is a fitness page as an example. So I've got some containers in here ready, set to go. I'm just going to copy and paste these containers, just add a few more in for me. Now, like I did before, I'm going to just put a space bar in this first container, just that I got a separator. And then what we're going to do is click on insert. We're on HTML here, and we're going to add in heading 3. We're going to nest it, and you can see this is got there. This is the content for layer 3. So we're going to say, you know, how to get fit. Okay, so what we need to do with this is we are going to then add a paragraph in. So whilst I'm on this H3, I'm going to click on paragraph and I'm going to put it in after. Now notice what it's done there. It's still within the same container, but it's put the P there directly after. Okay, and what we're going to do is essentially just use a little bit of Lorem Ipsum. So just a little bit of padding text there, just so that you can kind of see how this fills out. And what we can do with that. Okay, so that's the general gist of it. And one thing you'll notice, because it's in one of these containers, it will rescale and resize beautifully, which is excellent. And that's really good here. So let's have a quick look then at doing another thing slightly differently in the div here. So let's go and add in now another one of these headings. So what we're going to do is we are going to nest that inside, which is good. And then we are going to add in a paragraph, and we're going to put that after the content. And we're going to put the same sort of thing in here. And then top tips. So what we're going to do with this one, slightly different. We are going to just go back on here, and I'm going to add in a bullet point. And what we're going to do is just make these into little bullet points here, just so that you can see there's a little different way of doing things here as well. Now, obviously, to get rid of the bullet points like you would normally do in Word or something like that, if you keep on pressing enter, it keeps on adding the bullet points in, which probably isn't what you want. So what you need to do to be quite sort of careful with this is you can either delete them over here, which is worthwhile doing, or if you click off the bullet point there, which we've just put on, it takes you back out. Obviously, it's still got the one there, so we can get rid of that. So this doesn't work like a word editor, so to speak, but you can kind of see it's not that difficult. You just need to use a mixture really of the editor and then the DOM on the side, just to tidy things up as well. Okay, now one thing to consider, you'll notice that we got top tips there, we got how to get fit. We're going to add another one in, and this time I'm going to show you how to do something, but we're going to do it in a slightly different way. So what we are going to do this time is we're going to add in in the Bootstrap component, we're going to add in a grid with row, and we're going to nest it. And this time we're going to do 2, like I've done in the previous videos. Now we got content goes here, lovely. Let's make that a little bit smaller. So we're going to put a little image over here, which is quite nice. And we're going to really make it small. We're going to make this container a little bit bigger. But what we are going to do is copy the same sort of outline here, down here. So all I do is I go back to my HTML, and I'm going to click on heading 3. We're going to nest it. We're going to then click on that P for paragraph. We're going to then put it after, and you can see there we've got that. So let's make something else up here. So we've got top tips, health benefits. Okay, so again, I'm just going to paste in some text there, and on this one here we're going to add in an image. So if I click in here into this little div, click on image, and then let's wrap. We're going to nest it, so we're going to put it inside. I don't actually know which image I am going to use. Let's just pick a random one here. Let's go for this one here. We're going to click on the little 3 dots here and go to make responsive. So there you are, it's got that in there, which is quite nice. Now we're going to make that a little bit narrower, make that a little bit wider. So it comes out there nice, decent, tidy. Okay, so you can kind of see what this layout, what I'm trying to aim for with this layout. It is literally it's a section by section built up. And if I just click on this top div here, you can see this container here is one section part. That one there is another one. And then inside here, we've got different then components. Now, if I just try to preview this into Safari, save it. This is what it looks like. And it actually looks quite nice. We haven't got any horizontal bars. We have got vertical bars, which is nice. And these actually then fit quite nicely. If I just expand this back out, so you can go into the full view of it, it does look very, very nice in total. Now, what we did do earlier in another tutorial, but I'm going to try and do it here again, is put a little bit of padding in between these containers here. Now you have to be careful when you do this because you have to click on the outermost container. So I'm just going to collapse these so I am on the right one. So I'm going to click on that container, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put .p and then I'm going to put p2. So what that's done is add a little bit of padding there. We're going to click on that container there as well, and we're going to do .p2. Oop, I've done it right. Let's try it again. Hang on, I've gone astray a bit. One sec. So plus .p2, and there we are. That's added now a little bit of padding then across all of these little things. There it is, like so. Now, one thing to note, obviously, when you are doing this, everything looks nice, everything looks tidy. I've actually added it there. I don't know if you noticed. I've added it to the internal container on the left and the top one there, just to show you that it can make this look a little bit better. So it'll basically bring it in then from the top and the sides ever so slightly. Now, it doesn't make a great deal of difference, and to be honest, you probably wouldn't know unless I've told you, or unless you screenshot it and point it out. But it's just something then that gives you a little bit of space there between the lines. And as you can see then, when you make it a little bit smaller, it still looks quite nice and still quite neat and tidy. Okay. Now, in terms of, I did address this in a previous video, but because I made all of the templates before I did this, this banner is 1600 pixels wide. Now, although it's a responsive image and it will go down in size, it won't scale bigger than 1600 because that's the size of the image. Now, if this does happen to you, an easy way to solve it is just by going to the image itself at the top, or clicking on the top of the image here, and you can see at the bottom there you've got 1600. Change that to something like 2000. And because these are locked, I didn't lock it, whoopsie. Now I've locked it. Because these are locked, this should then basically change the shape and size of it in both horizontal and vertical widths. Now, it won't change anything here because it's a responsive image. But what will change, if we preview the site again, now, if you notice, it is spanning the entire width of my monitor, and it doesn't really take up any more space. When I make it a little bit smaller, it goes nice. When I make it bigger, it still goes nicely there as well. Okay, so that is one of the last types of template that we're going to look at. There's one more which I'm going to just do very quickly, and then once we've done that, we've done all the different layouts.